We're going to join the action in the first frame. Ding is at the table, trailing 6 points to 12. Your commentators, Clive Everton and Neil Folds.
Good long red and a chance to get in behind the green.
Ding Junhui, 1. Foul and a miss.
All that thinking and calculating, and he goes straight into the blue. Not an easy decision for Ding. Going back, he might have been tempted by that red that's near the pink spot, but he's not got the best of cue balls for it. I think the idea is to get to that red that he was just queuing up near on the right-hand side of the table, but as I say, he never passed the blue on the previous attempt. That will be a start. Doesn't look a particularly natural angle, this, the one that he's aiming
Foul and a
to
miss.
get.
Ding Junhui, 4.
Might go back again. Not straightforward as to getting onto a colour. He's got that red. Well, that might interest him, actually. I thought his cue ball control wasn't as good as usual today. He didn't play badly. In the middle of the match, he looked like he was finding form. He should have won 4-0, actually. Ding was way in front in frame 4, 3-0 up against Dominic Dale. Dominic ended up clearing up to go 3-1, and possibly was going to go 3-3 at one point. Made hard work of a match that he looked like he was going to win easily.
3.
It's not clear whether Ding can reach the potting angle on the back red.
Four. Nine. Ten. Sixteen. 17.
Didn't play it plain ball because he believed he was cannoning into the lower of the two reds together.
Yeah, but it's difficult to actually hit low on the cue ball when you're bridging over balls like that. It was a good shot, I
23.
thought. They could be in for a
24.
good match with these two. We saw a number of good matches in the evening sessions last year when both players had a winning match in the afternoon to get them into their stride.
$30. $31. $38.
Needs this red colour and another red.
$39.
Needed to cannon either of the two reds together.
46.
He leads by 50, but there's still 51 on the table.
As Clive says, it's possible that
Ding Junhui 46.
Barrow could win the frame. These reds and blacks, three of them, and all the colours. That's not a good shot. Caught it too thick, and it's going to cost him the frame.
One.
A nice easy frame ball for Ding then.
Six. Ding Junhui 6 and the frame.
A 46 break laid the groundwork, and all that Ding needed after that was a single red. Ding leads by a frame to nil.
So the Chinese player took the first frame, onto the second. Ding is at the table, leading by a solitary point.
That was a little bit awkward. It had to be a screw off a thin edge, and he didn't quite do it.
Well, John Higgins might be watching this thinking, well, he didn't miss too many of those this afternoon. He was very good at long range.
But doesn't it illustrate that every match is different, even on the same day?
Yeah, I think there are so many players of an equal standing in the game now. There's 7 or 8 who play them one day, and one person will win comfortably, and the next day it could go the other way, because they're all very good.
1.
And we've got this champion of champions, and there's a little pool of players that have won almost all of the tournaments between them. Hence the reason why not everybody in this is actually a tournament winner in the last 12 months. Because Ding won 5 ranking events last season.
Seven.
Yes, it's let in winners of tournaments like the One Frame Shootout, Dominic Dale, the 6 Reds World Championship, Stephen Maguire, the World Seniors,
8.
Steve Davis,
who will be playing tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to seeing him back in action.
Ding is never short of Chinese support wherever he plays.
Usually one of the best players at going into the bunch of reds and finishing on 1 or 2 even. Spreads them very nicely, so don't know if he's playing a little cannon or he's going into them full-bloodedly here or not. Yeah, he's played it well. It's secondary amount of spin on the ball there, which made it arc, almost went into them again.
15.
And he's okay.
$16. $18. $19.
Goodness me, that was a bad shot. He, as I mentioned earlier, struggled with his stun game, and 1 or 2 of his shots were under hit. Too much stun on the ball on occasions, but that was Nowhere near what he played. Very nice recovery though, great temperament. Can't think of too many worse positional shots than that Ding has played for a while.
26.
Yeah, it was very good to banish the thought I should be on something a lot easier and just settle down to play that tricky shot on its merits.
I think the best thing at times is not to think about what's gone before. Just play the
27.
next shot fairly quickly. The more you think about those, the more you realise that you've put yourself in a bad position. I mean, in some ways, Ding comes here fresher than most in that he didn't play in Chengdu last week. I mean, that tournament only finished yesterday. No doubt Ricky Walden, who won it, is probably still flying back. He's not even back in the UK yet, I don't suppose. And one or two others were involved in the fairly latter stages of that event. Mark Allen, who he beat in the final, plays later in the week. Ding wasn't even in the tournament. So it might work in his favour in the end.
Twenty-nine. $30.
This looks ominous for Hawkins. It looks like 2-0 coming up.
36. $37. $43.
I think that was what happened this afternoon, that Ding was getting in, knocking in half centuries, but wasn't killing off frames in a single visit very often. Chance to do it here.
$51. $52. $58. $59.
Already Hawkins needs 2 snookers.
65.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite what he played there. Barry might think about playing on if this break ends here. Playing a plant. He wouldn't play, I don't think, if Barry could still win the frame.
Ding Junhui, 65.
Well, Barry is going to carry on, but looks like 2-0 Ding.
1. Barry Hawkins 1, frame conceded. Frame Ding Junhui.
So Hawkins yet to settle. Jing leads by 2 frames to 0.
It's looking all too comfortable for Ding Junhui, a break of 65, sealing the second frame for a 2-0 lead. We're going to rejoin it in the third. Hawkins at the table, trailing 25 points to 6.
1.
Well, Barry's been unlucky a couple of times this frame, but this is a golden chance. No excuses here.
Eight. 9. 15. 16. 23. 24.
Just slightly lost the cue ball there. Wanted to be straighter. Doesn't really want to be leaving himself much of an angle on this. It's all right. Got the cue slightly over the red. Makes the shot one he has to give a bit more care and attention to. But he's playing a little bit too well to be worrying about things like this. I thought he was impressive this afternoon. He was fluent. He outplayed John Higgins.
31.
Who didn't do that much wrong, as I say.
32.
Lost a couple of times fairly recently to Mark Williams. He's ranked above Mark nowadays, but he's been a bit of a bogey
39.
player for Barry Hawkins over the years. I don't think he's beaten him very often. You get players like that. Stopped him from getting very far in tournaments so far in this campaign. But now back home in the UK, we're
40.
looking to do well here. Ding was in first in this frame. Again, not putting frames away in a single visit.
Barry Hawkins 47.
Red, black, red would have given Hawkins the frame.
Yeah, I mean, his 28-point lead, which is going to be 32 now because of the in-off, looks a big lead.
Barry Hawkins 4.
With the yellow safe, 2 reds, well, in fact all 3 on the cushion now. It's not a frame winning lead, but it's going to take Ding quite a while to clear them from there.
Terrific pot.
Yeah, really good, Clive, considering he had the ball in hand. He could have played safe. Made the confident, positive choice. But this next one
8.
is the one that counts. It's never touched the sides, very clean.
Barry Hawkins 8.
Played it at a speed which gave it a chance to wriggle clear if it didn't go in. Ding on 94%, pot success rate. Hawkins on 79 in comparison with his 94% this afternoon until late in the match.
Ding forced to play the red that's safe at the moment for safety, but the double kiss is on if he plays thin off the red, so near the cushion. Don't think he could avoid it. Well, he'd like you to think he played that shot. Big grin on his face. It was lucky.
Yes, we've seen Ding's personality emerge in the last couple of seasons. When he first came over here, he was very poker-faced, but he's loosened up a lot.
He won over £500,000 in prize money last season. He's not much to worry about, Clive, is he? Every reason to smile occasionally.
It's difficult enough to reach the top for anybody, but someone coming from a foreign land and a completely alien culture, and to start with no grasp of the language whatsoever, it's all the more creditable.
A very good pot, and I wonder if he can get past the pink in potting this, and he can knock the red out. In which case, he's right back in the frame. No, he couldn't get past the pink. That was the problem. Now, going back to what you're saying, Clive, I have a lot of admiration for the overseas players. The British players have dominated the game for a long time. Someone like Neil Robertson as well, who travelled from Australia to live here, which is the only way, really.
Ding Junhui 8.
And he's won the world title. Ding's won a lot of ranking events, 11, all around the world. But he had a little chance there to get back into the frame, which he couldn't take. Barry playing cushion first here. That'll do him.
Well worked out and well played.
Yeah, he's pinning his hopes on winning this frame before the yellow comes into play. That's a bit weak of pace. Barry could get him in trouble here.
Excellent.
Yeah, and also the yellow's playing a part in this shot as well, Clive. He can't get to it very easily off one cushion. The more I look at this, the more I think it's a very difficult snooker to hit. You might be able to hit half of it from the right-hand cushion across, but he's in loads of trouble here. And the other thing to say, 32 the difference. He's got to hit it first time. Won't be called a miss if he does fail to make contact, but he's got to hit it. Anyone got any ideas? It is one cushion to get to just a part of the red, not even the whole of it. And the other thing is, if he does hit it, he might be snookered again. Too difficult, wasn't it? Too difficult.
Foul. Barry Hawkins 4.
Do we have a free ball? No. No miss can be called, obviously, because Ding now wants a snooker.
Almost fluked a snooker back.
Foul. Barry Hawkins 5.
.41 the difference now, with only 35 on, which is 2 snookers, and Hawkins potted that red. It would surely have been conclusive. So that red removes the last vestige of doubt about the outcome of this frame.
Barry Hawkins 1 and the frame.
Hawkins made a 47 break in it and retained control of it. He wins the third frame, but still trails by 2 frames to 1.
Hawkins finally on the board. Onto the fourth. There's no score. Barry Hawkins at the table.
And that is an absolute peach.
1.
Look where he's finished, not only on the black, but with the angle to go into the bunch.
Which is a tight bunch, so had to go in with a lot of power.
Eight.
Not the best of results though.
Barry Hawkins 8.
Ding's come a long way since he started playing at the age of 10 on a table which was outside his father's house. Quite a few of those tables in China, if the weather's good enough. But from relatively primitive conditions there, he's got the best of conditions in this fine arena.
Yes, and he might have a plant here as well. Those two reds were in line, but can he get to them? Oh, I think is he playing? No, certainly the plant looked to be on, but he couldn't quite get to it. I think he probably wanted to get rid of it as well. I think he's left the red on. There's a big gap.
Slightly overcut.
Surprised, isn't he? As if he felt his alignment was out or something on that shot. It wasn't that difficult.
One. Eight. Nine. Yeah, sure. 14. $15. $22. $23.
They played that one perfectly.
30.
Back for the black. A couple of reds that popped to the right corner. Excellent chance.
31.
Well, he had an early opportunity, which he never took.
$38. $39. $46.
Not straight enough to get through for black.
47.
No, the bunch are fairly loose, but I don't think too many of them pop from here, so gently disturb one directly from potting this blue. Don't think he'll play it at great speed. That'll do nicely. The red pots to the left corner.
52.
Well, we've not had a century break all day. This is a good chance of being the first.
$58. $59.
Hawkins did have a chance in this frame.
66.
He had a red not far from a corner pocket, but he was playing from distance and just overcut it.
67. $74. $75.
It's going to be 3-1. The only issue is whether it's going to be a century.
82. '83.
And although we got very excited about Neil Robertson's record of 103 centuries last season, Ding had 62, which was better than the previous
90.
record.
'91.
This would be his 11th of this campaign, bearing in mind
'98.
that he's had a couple of first round exits.
'99. '105.
He's made the century before snookering himself.
105 on the frame, Ding Junhui.
And with that break of 105, Ding Junhui leads Barry Hawkins by 3 frames to 1 at the mid-session interval.
After the mid-session interval, things got even better for Ding. A beautiful 4-ball plant sent him on his way to a 46 break to take frame 5 to extend his lead to 4-1. We're going to pick up the action in frame 6. Ding at the table, leading by 19 points. Commentary from Clive Everton and Neil Folds.
Miss-hit safety.
Yeah, when you're hitting across those safety shots, as he was there with Keeble over on one side of the table, just get them slightly wrong and it looks awful. Looks like he hit it just about half ball in the end. It was much thinner than that. With this chance,
One.
the struggle, not as fluent as he was earlier today.
Well, the worst that can happen to Hawkins is that he'll walk away with a cheque for £10,000, but
8.
if he's going to double his money by reaching the semi-finals, he's got to engage his higher gears, certainly higher than he's been engaging in the
9.
last few frames.
Oh, this will open things up. The red he's played on.
16. '17.
No, he's got to play a good shot to keep the break going. He's on a colour, probably. I was thinking the brown, but playing, I think, the pink here. Whichever it is, it swings him round the table. Yeah, good shot, nicely played. That's more like it. Getting the pink back into play as well. That could be a frame winner.
23.
So many reds out in the middle of the table that are completely there without any difficult shots to play. This was a good one.
'24. 30. $31. $37.
This break arose from Ding's poor safety.
$38. $44.
I think just dropping this in.
$45.
Making the pot as easy as possible. It's quite a narrow angle down there. If that red by the black does go, then he has to play on it. It must be tight. Probably the right shot not to bother with it. It's more in Ding's favour than that red is
51.
taken away from the black. He'll be playing catch-up in this frame if he comes back to the table at all. Barry can
52.
just take the reds that are out in the open. He's made these pretty well from that mistake that you mentioned, Clive, that Ding couldn't find the edge for that safety shot on the red.
Yes, the way the balls were, this break has been
56.
pretty straightforward, but he's kept good control.
$57.
Oh, highest break of the match, previously 47 only.
63.
This red is frame ball, barring snookers.
$64.
This is a bit better from Barry. Up until that point, the healthy 51-point lead that he's got, which probably
70.
wins in the frame.
Yes, was trying to get the cue ball to the left-hand side cushion to roll the red across to the right middle.
Barry Hawkins, 70.
But as it is, that 70 break should be enough. $51 the difference, only 43 on.
One.
Ding won't be getting out of his chair now.
Barry Hawkins, 1 and the frame.
So that was a much better frame from Hawkins, distinguished by his break of 70. He reduces his arrears to 4-2.
Welcome back. Ding Junhui still leads this Group 4 final 4-2. Barry Hawkins looked good, taking frame 6 with a 70 break to narrow the margin to just 2 frames. On to the 7th, Ding at the table with both players still to score.
Ding trying to win this frame to go 3 up with 4 to play. Hawkins trying to reduce his arrears to 4-3.
I wonder if he's going to play the pot. I don't see too many safety shots available. That's a beauty. I think his mind was made up by the situation. No easy safety shot. He could get the cue ball back as well, but it's very cleanly struck. Look at this. Well, this is another big shot. Coming down towards the reds. This has to go in. Again, a struggle. But now it has gone in. It's a good chance.
4. Five.
Not as good as it could have been.
No, I don't know what happened there. Whatever he put on the cue ball didn't seem to stay on it very long. He's got to play a recovery shot. It looked like he'd gone low enough on the cue ball. Just seemed to die. Any spin was lost. So the cutback is awkward. He's going to hit the other red on the way through. No guarantee on being on a colour. It's a horrible shot now. You can see it even better from that angle. Blind pocket. A nice recovery.
13.
Brushed through that red on the way past. But again, he's got to play another good shot now from this colour up to the next red. Got to avoid the bulk colours. It looks A1.
80.
And I think importantly, the black will go into the same pocket, so he can just hold on to position for that.
19.
I think the 70 break that Hawkins made in the last frame has settled him. There's a good prospect of another frame winner here.
$26. $27. $32. 33.
Well, everything goes now. I think you're right, Clive. Just signs that last frame gave him recollection of how he played it this afternoon.
40.
How he beat John Higgins and hardly missed a ball.
41. $48. 49.
'Certainly starting to think we've got a match on our hands now. A little bit of a slow burner, but I think Ding
57.
sitting there will realise that if he loses this frame, he's going to have to up his standard to convert what will be a 4-3 lead into a victory. From 4-1, don't forget.
$64. 65. 72. 73.
So Hawkins well past the winning post.
Yes, and this break came off a terrific long red, where he had no real option but to go for the pot.
80. 'Harry Hawkins 80 and the frame.
Hawkins was 4-1 down, but with frame winners of 70 and 80, he has reduced his arrears to 4-3.
So the deficit is down to 1. On to the 8th frame. Ding at the table, trailing 41-2.
Middle distance red for Hawkins. He usually pots these.
Yes, it was about the same shot that he had already knocked in earlier on in the frame. Just a bit of extra pressure on this one, though. And on the rail. Certain to be on a red. This has got to go in. I'll say certain. There is a red, actually, that does go to the right corner.
8.
This match is turning around.
Nine. 14. 15. 22.
So Hawkins has travelled the long road back from 4-1 down to 4-all.
$30. 31. Barry Hawkins 31 on the frame.
Too late to make any difference whatsoever. 3 frames in a row for Hawkins. It's 4-all.
So it's all level at 4 frames all in the Group 4 final. In the 9th, Hawkins missed a very simple blue. Ding took advantage and regained his advantage, leaving Hawkins much to ponder.
Barry Hawkins awaits the return to the arena of Ding Junhui. Ding having prevailed in a hard, grinding 38-minute frame to regain the lead at 5-4. Hawkins's troubles started when he missed a dolly blue early in the frame. That killed his momentum, which he'd built up by winning 3 frames in succession from
frame
4-1
10.
down.
Barry Hawkins to break.
I don't really know why he played it like that, to be honest. I mean, playing out of a snooker, straight onto the side cushion. Surely the safety shot thin off the pack wasn't that difficult. I mean, surely you'd only play it the way that Ding did there, as if he couldn't possibly stick one. And he stuck 2 on.
In addition, by screwing into the bunch and out from that initial red, Hawkins has developed a couple more reds.
Barry's just got to forget about the one mistake that he has made in the last 4 frames, and that was in the previous frame that we saw, the easy blue that he missed. Missed one of those, you can dent your confidence for other shots that are usually unmissable. Other than that, he's been playing okay. Well, it's all right in the end. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong there. And Paul Collier's got a job on here because the pink spot is covered, all the other spots are occupied. So as near as you can get it, down the middle of the table.
15. $16. 21. 22. 29. 30. 37.
Two chances there. The back red was first prize, but if he just slid on an inch or so, he was always going to be on that one to the middle.
38.
Yes, and that's absolutely perfect on the black as well. So that same red that he played on first time, he could play on here, because he's got the other one as well on the left. And that will clear the path to that bottom red even more.
$45. Yeah, sure. 46.
Ding's safety mistake, rolling into the bunch in what he thought was innocuous fashion, has led to this contribution.
Well, he made an angle that didn't even appear to exist there. It's only just barely off straight.
53. $54.
No, I'm not sure what goes amongst these 7 reds. I thought maybe one might have gone to the left middle, the one next to the pink. Certainly from one camera angle it must be tight. There's a little plant that he's discovered. Don't think he knew anything about that. Well, certainly play it.
61.
Yes, I think he's not quite dead to the pocket, but played it very nicely indeed.
62.
Still a lot of points on here. 75 available on the table. So he wants another red after this black that he's now in behind. Oh yes, well, he's won the frame now. We're in for a decider, I think.
69.
A match that Ding has never been behind in.
$70.
This is the third 70-plus break that Hawkins has made.
76. $77. $84. $85.
Crowds always love a century.
91.
They've already seen one this evening. 105 from Ding.
92.
And now they're going to see another.
$98.
Trying to get the other red into play here. That's what he played there.
99.
Left-hand side on the cue ball, but didn't manage it. Not sure how he gets on his next red. A bit of side on this cue ball, is he? No, not enough. Nice century though, right when he needed it. Put the last frame out of his
104.
mind. Oh, this is really close. What a shot.
105.
So this could well end up as a total clearance.
112.
The break will reach 139 if Hawkins pots all the colours. He hasn't, but
112 in the front.
the break of 112 levels the match at 5-all. We're into an 11th frame decider.
So we're down to a decider. 3 times now Ding has let a lead slip away. After a period of safety play in frame 11, Ding leads by 13 with Hawkins at the table.
Much too thick. Again, though, the positional side of things is not all that easy. If he wants to inject any backspin into the cue ball, he's got to strike sharply downwards on it.
Yes, and by doing so, it's very missable. Horrible shot, this. A lot of thinking time. After all that, the cue ball gets cleaned.
Well, if he plays without elevating the cue, he's going to pot the red, but to get position, he needs to make the pot more difficult.
That's a good shot. That is a good shot in the end. It was worth the wait, and he didn't play it with any great pace. I looked over at Barry, and I think he looked really disappointed that that dropped in, because he's never led in the match. He's always been trying to battle back into it, gets himself to 4-all, 5-all from 4-1 down, having been 2-0 down early on. All of a sudden, Ding's in with a good chance in the decider, and it's out of his hands now.
$14. $15. $21. $22.
For a player of Ding's class, it looks apparently like a pretty clear run to the line. But we all know
28.
that things can go wrong.
29.
However good an opportunity this appears to be,
$35.
one of Ding's supporters, more of Ding's supporters.
$36.
And he's taken them pretty well so far. It's very straight, so screwing back off the cushion, I think. That looks pretty well judged.
$42.
Not much more to do now.
Hawkins fearing the worst.
Yeah, annoying when you get to a decider and don't get one chance.
.43.
This blue and one more red would suffice.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Helps, as Clive said, that there's no
48.
colour required after this because he's not certain to be on one. And this is Barry's last chance if Ding's got to miss this one.
Safely in, and extra insurance would be provided by potting the pink. It's a disappointment for Hawkins after a great
55.
fight back.
Ding Junhui, 55.
Barry's probably got to carry on. If that red had gone in, I think it was time to concede. Ding looking like he's going to get through today. Form has been a little bit patchy. There were times when he scored heavily. He knocked in a century today, and if you look at all the breaks that have been made in this match, you know, you could argue it's been a pretty decent one. There have been mistakes made, but the players have scored when they're in. The longer the match has gone on, maybe the better that's got, that part of the match.
Ding had a break of 105 in leading 4-1.
7.
Hawkins had runs of 70, 80 and 112 in winning 4 of the next 5 frames to equalise at 5-all.
And 92% pot success tells me that Ding has played pretty well, although, as I say, not always very fluently.
Barry Hawkins,
He's not
7.
at his best, but he may not be that far away from playing to his full capacity, and if he wins this match, which it appears he will, he's back at the weekend and maybe that'll spur him on. He said earlier on to me in an interview that he'd been practicing very hard. A lot of the other players have been travelling around the world. Ding didn't play in the event in China last week. He didn't qualify, so maybe he's had a bit of time to really work on his game.
And his 2 wins today, because it looks as if it is going to be 2 wins, will make him match sharp to add to all that practice.
Barry losing points by playing up on the blue.
Six.
Yes, it's 3-4 point snookers to tie now.
7.
They've got a little chance here to get one. It'd have to be a good one. Ideally in behind the black, I think,
14.
with the cue ball and the black, or the red rather, maybe touching one of the lower value colours so you can get a free ball. That's what he's tried.
Harry Hawkins,
Red's not
14.
helping him very much where it's finished. Ding might be able to play a little swerve here. Swerving round through the gap between the blue and the green.
And he got the cushion to help him as well, with the right of centre striking.
Oh, the dread double kiss.
Oh dear, he's potted the red by mistake.
Barry Hawkins,
And that is
one
it.
frame in the match, Ding Junwei.
Excellent match. Ding led 4-1, Hawkins levelled at 4-all, and again at 5-all. But Ding left Hawkins requiring snookers, but he made a 55 break in that deciding frame. And so it is that Ding Junhui goes through the winner by 6 frames to 5.